Well, I was given a task today to introduce the history in the lens of UPSC civil service examination. Spelling correct? I'm asking. Is it correct? Yes or no? What strikes in your mind as a common man? Neutral term, by the way, including women. Common man. When someone says history, what strikes you? Beautiful. It's about the past. So whenever I say statement, it should be in the past tense or present tense or in future. Hey, hey. Should I say Akbar was great? Akbar is great. Akbar was great. Interesting. If anyone says Akbar was great, we being a student of history, we don't agree to that three-word confinement. We go into deeper parts of it. Our question comes: who is this Akbar, and why he became great? He's a past figure, right? Yes or no? Who was Akbar? Hmm? A Mughal Shahenshah. Zilla Ilahi Jalaluddin Akbar Shahenshah. Called emperor. It's a right term. King bole to it's a mediocre term. I'll explain you the differences in the upcoming. Yes, he was a Mughal emperor. Cool. Why he was great? Why he was great? If someone says he's great, why he was great? Basic question, right? Why he was great? Good at administration. Then you should not use the word Akbar was great. You should say Akbar was able administrator. So the statement Akbar was great is a wrong. He should be called Akbar was an able administrator. Now this is a difference between a UPSC and the other exams. Making sense? అర్థమవుతుందా వ్యర్థమవుతుందా అర్థమవుతుందా Yeah. History is actually about our past. You're right. Question comes in our mind, why should I learn past? I'm living in present. Tomorrow, God bless you, you get into district services, district collector. You're a DM, district magistrate. Oh, entire district is in your hands, by the way. Just imagine you got a call from Prime Minister Office, PMO, and ask you, Vathav, when was Battle of Kalinga was fought? Was there any iota chance of asking this question in the real time? No, right? They're not going to ask. That means tomorrow, as a district collector, I don't say its relevance. Then why you should spend lots and lots of man hours in preparing for this subject? Was UPSC redundant? Was a fool to prescribe this subject to you? You take the lowest exam in our country, village revenue officer, village revenue assistant, class 10 qualification, right? Till the highest exam, civil services, history is inevitable. Why? Why do you think history is needed?
History is the past experiences that will help to sustain modern life.
Wow. History is the past, help us to sustain the modern life. Yeah, can you throw more light? How it can help us to sustain? How it helps?
In history, lots of things are there. They are
Today we don't have any kings.
no, sir. They are doing lots of administrative reforms. They will help us in present.
Why, bro? Why you want to refer the Aine Akbari? Why do you want to read Amukta Malyata?
Like
Why do you want to refer Manusmriti when you have Constitution of India? Yeah.
if they have made lot of mistakes, if we study that, we can rectify in the future.
Nice. Mistake.
Mistake.
How do you know it's a mistake?
Like it is a failure, no, sir. Like it's not worked properly.
Mistake, failure. So you're judging.
I'm not judging, but
You said that, bro. Just kidding. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
like it is not worked properly, that system. If we want to apply it, we can think in a different way that how we can apply it in the future.
Good observation. Your name, ma'am?
Manisha.
Manisha. Thank you. Sometimes you see a term called history repeats. You listen that term, history repeats. Technically, it won't repeat actually. Individuals repeat that, not knowing from the past. Say, for example, the World War One, 1418, 1914-18, the 20th century was a nightmare to Indians. It brought a huge death, destruction, devastation, and that pushed India to demand a self-government, Swaraj. But British promised that, but they gave responsible government, and Gandhi took it as an advantage and pushed it to non-cooperation movement. That's a different story. But the World War One had effect on 3 generations. Cool. The same century, or rightly speaking, the same half century witnessed another World War, yeah? Second World War, 39-45. Beyond the levels of destruction that you witnessed in World War One, it is seen there. Mankind realized that from the history that a war destroys. It's a catastrophe. You know the term catastrophe? Use that term in the disaster management. That literally compromises years and years, decades and decades, or possibly centuries and centuries of civilizational effort. So technically today you ask me, war is always, for Indian perspective or Indian foreign policy perspective, it's an exemption. Peace is a norm. Always we believe in peace. But the other countries are not thinking the same way, including India, of course, to some extent. If war is known for death, destruction, devastation, and United Nations was formed to prevent the future wars, 1945, 2025, 26, I'm sorry. How many wars do you think this planet Earth witnessed from 1945 till today? Any random number? 2, 3, or India fought itself 4 wars with the neighboring countries. They're best friends, no? Best friends. Best wars. How many wars do you think that the world witnessed? How many? 10, 15, possibly 20? The answer strikes more than 500 wars. Till today, the wars are happening. Did we learn from the past to sustain our modernity? No. So, the bookish way of giving a explanation or justification that history will give us good lessons, we learn from the past and we can shape our future is not seen today, is not a witness. Then why still I should learn the history? There's a beautiful statement made by Kalidasa Mahakavi in his Abhijnana Sakuntalam. He says, Na karnasya pravartati mandopi. Na karnasya pravartati mandopi. Mandopi meaning most ignorant. Idiot, rightly speaking today. Not even the most idiot person will take an action without knowing what is for him within that. You are going to be the future pillars of our country, by the way, for the nation. It is indeed to know that why you should learn history and how that is going to shape your perspective of understanding things. So please appreciate the syllabus prescribed for you. Once you understand why they asked me to learn this, I think 80% of the job is that done. The rest 20% is finding out the place, people, events, dates, very, very little data. Very little. Clear about it? When someone asks me about history, something strikes in our mind quickly. That's called, what is this? Loudly, please. Heritage. Right from my school days till today, there is a what do you call a shapam to history subject. Always they ask the teacher to deliver post lunch. It's very tough for actually to tell you stories and inspire you or motivate you or at least make you think. That word is called heritage. You see in your prelim syllabus, the term is there. In mains, it is there. You take any 5 papers of UPSC, 3 papers deal with heritage only. Wow, such an important topic it is. Cool. Then what is heritage? Virasat, you call that in Hindi. Or you call that in local South languages, Varasatvam. What's heritage? విన్నారా ఇప్పుడు నా పేరు పదం విన్నారా హెరిటేజ్ పాలు పెరుగు అది కాదు అదనుకుంటున్నారా బిడ్డ అది కాదు వాట్ ఈస్ హెరిటేజ్ Let me tell you something interesting. Look from this lens. Answer always lies in question. What is that? Loudly. Answer always lies in question. Now tell me, what is heritage?
Continuity, like
It's called legacy. Continuity is called. Don't confuse me, by the way. I'm a research scholarship, right? So we are very particular about the terms what you use. ఒక అర్ధ గంట వేస్ట్ అయినా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాం మేము దానికి. So be little cautious when you speak the term, by the way. Cool. What is heritage? What is heritage? Who gives you heritage? Your ancestors or preceders? Congratulations. Yes, your ancestors give you heritage. Yes or no? So anything that your ancestors give is actually called heritage. Technically speaking, anything that you inherit from your ancestors is called heritage. So heritage has inheritance in it. You understand what I'm saying, by the way? Now, what you inherit from your ancestors? What you borrow or what you take from your ancestors? Money, paisa? No use. Sorry? Oh my God. Science of morality, sir. That's a very debatable topic, but I appreciate that. But how do you take those morals and values? You should have a shape for them, right? A shape, a structure should be there. A shape and structure. How do you shape and structure it? Way of living. The way of life is called culture, indeed. But how culture and heritage are connected? You know, there's a body called UNESCO. You know that body? Stands for United Nations. Educational, scientific, cultural. Congratulations. This UNESCO, which is a part of United Nations now, United States came out of it. That's a very fun part of it. They recognize two kind of heritage sites in this: natural, cultural. Natural, something has to do with the biodiversity. Africa has maximum for it. Cultural, that's what I bother about it. These cultural sites, okay, is easy guess that UNESCO recognized maximum natural heritage sites belong to which? Obviously Africa, because Tropic of Cancer, Capricorn, and the equator passes through that. Culture is not that. Even desert has a culture, yes or no? Eskimos use the word snow in 30 different types of adjectives. Even that is also a culture for them. Making sense, by the way? So, which country is known for maximum cultural heritage sites? Please don't say India. We don't respect actually heritage. You go to Golconda, there you see Monu loves Sonu. Seriously, bro? They write it and ask them why you do that. And what the reply they gave? Ma prema amarantunga undali, eternal. The purpose is actually understood. Heritage is something that you get from your ancestors. What you get? Like a friend said, everything. Way of life. Say, for example, I want to tell the next generation who is a good son, good husband, good king, good brother, and I read a book called Ramayana. That's a heritage. Can you touch it or can you feel it? Ramayana. Loudly. You can touch the paper, but you need to feel those value system. That's why a Ramayana is called intangible cultural heritage. Intangible bole to you need to feel it. I want to let the next generation that now what love means to me. In spite of my 8th wife delivering the 14th child, she passed away, and I constructed beautiful Muntaj. And the Taj Mahal is actually called a heritage. You understand what I'm saying? Now you tell me, Taj Mahal, is it tangible or intangible? Can you touch it or can you feel it? Loudly. Wow, you can touch the stone, you have to feel the love. Clear about it? Making sense? You take this, my friend, every prelims, at least 2 questions from heritage. They keep asking, what was the reason for Akbar constructing Buldam Darwaja? This man realized that it is very tough not for him, but for his ancestors, like Babur and his son Humayun, who failed to capture the entire India, consolidate India. He tried, he failed also. Then he realized that, let me try the alternate. Alternate means only fools fight. Intelligent people, they do diplomacy. And that's how we start sending the letters of invitation of marriage. I'm ready to marry your daughter, and he sent to all Rajputs. And that's how we married 3,000 Rajput women. And you call Akbar the Great? Wow. Diplomacy. That's why it's called able administrator. Are we clear about making sense? Heritage is very important, my friend. Because of heritage, you are there, I am here. Ancient India has one heritage. Say, for example, Manusmriti talks beautifully, Yatra Naryechu Pujyanti Ramanta Tatru Devata, where the woman is respected, there the god, goddesses dwell. So, women was given a divine status as per as ancient India. You understand what I'm saying? But when you talk about medieval times, the time medieval times come to picture, a prudent practice of sati and johar that literally shattered the women's status in our country. There came Bhakti movement, Sufi movement, where people like Mirabai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu start raising the voice, Kabir raising the voice, saying that please don't kill the women. Woman is not just a gender, she's a legacy. You kill her, that's the end of the generation, my friend, end of the legacy. Heritage really matters. This is why, what are the monuments that you're going to see today? Your DPSP Article 48 talks about preserving those monuments. And we, being a student of history, we bother a lot about that. Thanks to the recent 2016, if not wrong, 16, where Archaeological Survey of India is a whole and sole monopoly of this maintenance, but now it is given to the private also. In this way, government do realize that my cultural preservation will not happen without a people's participation. That's why when you go to next time Golconda or Charnar, don't write Monu, love Sonu. Don't write anything, just see and get lost. Akbar, the only emperor among the Mughals who was unpad, illiterate. Hope you understand that. He had no time even to read because of his political conditions. But this man, after getting the knowledge about all the religions, he, on the Buldan Darwaja, after victory of Gujarat, he writes so beautifully. A man come to this planet empty hand, leaves the earth empty hand. Don't leave any traces. That is a heritage. Makes sense, by the way? So UPSC will go ahead of it. They'll ask a question. With what stone Buldan Darwaja was made? Makrana marble? Is it about? Questions are going to be that form. Why? Because if the marble is of red in color, indicating a glory victory, winning something, it's a red in color. If that's a white in color, indicating love, compassion, peace. Now you understand Taj Mahal in what color? White marble. Enter Red Fort, you talk about it, by the way. Fatehpur Sikri, you talk about it's going to be red, except one small dargah, Salim Chisti Dargah. Akbar, this man who understood that these people will not appreciate me because I am an outsider. Unless I accept them, their culture, they're not going to listen to me. And that's how he start embracing Sufism, which is like a diplomacy of administration. Now, these are all actually UPSC questions. If you read the basic NCERT factual data, it's very hard to interpret how to answer these questions. Heritage really matters. History teaches you heritage. Clear about it? What is this? Loudly? Identity. The only subject on this planet which gives you identity is history. Yep. What you are today, based on the choices, actions you have taken in the past. I still remember Albert Einstein saying, thanks Indians who taught us how to count. Now that's something very interesting. Mark Twain all the way went and said that India is a grandmother, cradle of civilization. Civilization born over here. Culture is way of life. Highest form of culture is called civilization. When people are struggling to make a 2 square meal a day in the foreign countries, we start writing geometry, trigonometry. Something is beyond our times. That's why when you read Aryabhatta, Aryabhattiyam, Bhaskaracharyas, Varamira, Siddhanta Shiromani, what we conclude, it gives some identity to us. By the way, why you want to get into civils? Don't tell, to serve the nation. I've been listening for the last 10 years, by the way, same. What is the real purpose of getting into civils? ఎందుకు? జీతం బాగా ఇస్తారనే. Serving the nation. My friend answered same question in his interview. He said, okay, you are a postgraduate and you decently clear the prelims and mains. You want to serve the nation? Go to Dantewada, Naxalite prone area, Red Corridor. We are unable to construct the houses, schools there. Why don't you go and serve the nation there by teaching the young generation the NCERT books? Why only civils then if you want to serve the nation? Clear? Start preparing the answer from today itself so that in interview, your tongue is not twisted out there. Okay? Identity really matters. Yeah, you are getting into civils for identity. That's right. Every nation has identity. Every human has an identity. Today, what you talk about, for example, you talk about Aryabhatta. Let me ask you a question. Previous UPSC prelims. Who invented the concept of zero? Option A, Aryabhatta. Option B, Bhaskaracharya. Option C, Varamira. Option D, unknown Indian. What's the answer? Very good. You know it or did someone say to you? You know the answer or did someone say to you? The answer is unknown Indian. Don't take the face value answer as it is. Don't trust your guts for the next 6 months. After 6 months, you can trust your guts. Aryabhatta wrote a Sanskrit book called Aryabhattiyam, and each chapter is called Pada. Pada meaning foot, step. In that, the 7th chapter called Gola Pada. Gola Bola the spear. He's the first person to say spear. 3D, circle, 2D. 3D, spear. In that, he said that Bhugola Sarvato Vrittaha. Bhugola, he said the word Bhugola. Earth is a spheroid. Bhugola Sarvata Vrittaha. Some people think that the word Vritta is what you're going to call circle, has shaped the word zero. But technically that's a wrong. The concept of zero was coined by Buddhists. Especially there is a great Buddhist monk called Acharya Nagarjuna. Any idea about him? He is called Indian Einstein for your information. This man who explained a theory called Shunyavadam. Shunya meaning nothingness. In Hinduism, you don't call it Shunyavadam, you call it Purnavadam, Purnam, completeness. Buddhism called it? If you understand the basic difference between Shunyavadam and Purnavadam, you understand the difference between Buddhism and Jainism actually. Sorry, Buddhism and Hinduism. In the Shunyavada, the concept of Shunya, meaning nothingness, is believed to be what you're going to call the modern Sunnah. So the answer is not Aryabhatta. Aryabhatta is known for giving the place value system. You know place value? Ones, tens. That's why Albert Einstein said, thanks for Indians who taught us how to count. Zero existed long back. Credit is given to Buddhist monks. In this way, you take ancient India, there is an identity. You take medieval India, there is an identity. You take modern. What kind of British identity they gave to us? When they came to India, this section of people looked at Indians in a very, very inferior status. There's a practice called apartheid policy. You know that? Racial discrimination. They discriminate you not based on your income, your status, your caste, your creed, nothing. But the color of your skin, which is considered to be inhuman. You know what I'm saying? And they openly said, I have a right to rule you. I have a right to conquer you. And this ideology is what you're going to call in modern India colonialism. Colonialism is making colonies. They didn't end there. Making colonies on what? By cultural interference. They'll destroy your culture. They exploit your economy. They'll make your kings weak. A very big theory, my friend, in the modern India. We can speak about half an hour only on the word called colonialism. The word colonialism, imperialism is mentioned in your syllabus. GS paper 2, GS1. You see that colonialism. The term is there, you need to master that word. Please remember that. History deals with heritage. History deals with identity. History needs a laboratory. What is a laboratory for historians? Society. 1 + 1 = 2. That's a universal fact. But there are some societies who are not appreciating or not even acknowledging that one man, one woman is equal to 2 individuals. They're not saying it. They're saying maybe 1.5. Why that's happening? Do you still think that there's a discrimination of this level? Men and women are not treated equal? In spite of the Constitution, Article 14, Article 19, Article 21? There's a discrimination or not? Unda leda? Endukundi? Why? Where things are going wrong? You get the answers in history. History is very brutal. Same like your camera, records everything. You like it or not, record it. And what they do, they pass it to next generation. It's called a narrative. Please be careful. Fact is different, narrative is different. Fact is different, narrative is different. Buldan Darwaja, constructed by Akbar to commemorate his victory on Gujarat. That's a fact. But why he only chose to attack first Gujarat? That's a narrative. Say, for example, your birthday. Is that a fact or narrative? Loudly. Any debate on that? What makes you believe it's a fact? Your existence, bro. Your existence, sir, I'm alive. That's called a fact. Your birthday falls on English calendar or Telugu calendar or a Saka calendar. That is what you call a narrative. Making sense, by the way? There's a saying in history that only fools fight for facts. UPSC is very clear about it. It gives you such a standard question, either the prelims or in mains, such a way you understand that and you take a call accordingly. Society, like I said, in Manusmriti gave a great respect to women. Such kind of women, by the time British entered in India, women were pushed to, women was forced to sit on a pyre with a dead husband head on her lap and ask the neighbors to lit the pyre. What do you call that practice? Sati. Sati. The sati, literally, it was a trauma. The roots of sati you will find in Gupta Empire, period called Iran inscription, Banu Gupta. So, history gives a detailed chronology saying that this event happened and our responsibility is not to prevent, not to continue it, but to prevent it. Today you have Representation of People's Act 1951, ROPA. Under that act, any contestant in elections, if even forget about committing, even he promote that act, is disqualified. Why we are so cruel on this? Because when you talk about gender equality, human rights, natural rights, these kind of practice once upon a time believed to be called the practice of dharma, no more anymore. It takes a little maturity to appreciate what William Bentinck did in 1829, bringing Anti-Sati Act. You know what I'm saying, by the way? History records that societal events. You talk about child marriages, we have evidence for that in history. You talk about sati, we have evidence. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, who is considered to be one of the finest pioneers of Bengal, who wrote a classical Bengal literature called Bitantu Bibaha. Bitantu Bibaha inspired Raja Mahendravaram Kandukuri Vireshilingam to perform the first widow remarriage in South India. You know what I'm saying, by the way? So, these ideas are not stagnant, they are flowing, my friend. And your responsible being tomorrow administrator is to preserve those value systems. History deals about heritage. It deals about identity. It deals about society. And what is interesting, if today a 7-year-old kid asks me, bro, tell me what is history. Don't beat all around the bush. Tell me in one word what is history. Albert Einstein said, if you can explain your subject to a 7-year-old kid, you got this subject. If not, you're just playing with the words. If today someone asks me what is history, explain in one word, I'll choose this word. What is this? Transformation. There's one interesting topic UPSC frequently focus throughout your preparation, prelims or mains or interview. One topic is called state formation. What do you call that term? How the state today is formed. A very interesting topic you need to focus from ancient, medieval and modern. Today, what you're going to call welfare state is a more evolved form. I hope you know that. In ancient India, there used to be a practice called Yada Raja Tada Praja. It's mostly like a lineage and that to monarchical mindset. And there was a biggest debate happening in the Constitutional Assembly. Why can't we embrace the ancient heritage of Yada Raja Tada Praja? Why can't we bring the monarchy? Why we need republic? And debate was concluded saying that we need more republic than monarchy, and we finalized it. This is called a transformation. Yada Raja Tada Praja is monarchy. Yada Praja Tada Rajya, it is called democracy. So today we are living a democracy, people's rule. History will focus on these aspects. How the transformation is happening. What kind of events are getting transformed in what form. You go to rural India today, in the words of Mahatma Gandhi, panchayats are very essential, yes or no? Panchayats actually are the significance for Grama Swaraj. My still question to you, you being a district collector tomorrow, head of thousands and thousands of, maybe thousands of panchayats by the way, at least will you get a chance to travel each panchayat and talk to one sarpanch? Ask their conditions, crisis? No. That means you are the result of British colonial administrative setup. If you really appreciate nation, if you really want to serve nation, the first thing you should do is stop preparing for civil services. Amma, okay na? I don't know indaka, service, nation ane. Mahatma Gandhi hated civil services. Lucky to Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who restructured Indian civil services after Gandhi's death. Had Gandhi been alive, he would have literally, like, nothing, no civil services. And ethics paper is incomplete without writing Mahatma Gandhi. Paradox, right? Transformation really important. Say, for example, land revenue is one of the important discussions in throughout revenue settlements in ancient, medieval, modern. And don't forget, what is this tax? Tax, what do you call the word tax? What is this tax? Is it a word tax? The public finance talks about it tax by the way, but how to explain a tax? How can you convince a common man that it is your responsibility to pay tax? I want 100 rupees. Why should I give to minister? I won't give. And that is not my caste. Why should I give? What you will do? History details very beautifully transformation that the early Vedic era there is a practice called voluntary tax submission. Voluntary. It's called Bali. Bali bole to, you are a king, you are taking a great responsibility in protecting our resources. Flora, fauna, resources. It is my responsibility to serve you. So initial tax was voluntary. You know what I'm saying? Slowly as the term became essential part of state formation called a treasury. Use the word treasury. Called it in the political language exchequer. Kautilya's Arthashastra writes beautifully, it is called a kosha. And anyone who is a head of is called a kosha adhyaksha. And tomorrow you're going to be district collector. There is a department called a board of revenue. You'll be in charge of that. So you're also going to be part of kosha adhyaksha. Now you being a responsible, you're supposed to convince subjects to pay the taxes. And what is interesting, most of the Indian kings who actually born here and part of this civilization, they did not collect the tax not more than 1/3. Maximum tax 1/3, including a Akbar. But UPSC asked a question, who was the Indian king imposed maximum tax on Indians, on his subjects? The answer, Alauddin Khilji. How much? Half, 50%. Why? That should be your question. This man wants to accumulate massive wealth so that he can conquer India. So his military expeditions need funding. And that funding is going to get from where? Taxes. So who is the only Indian king to impose maximum tax? Alauddin is a fact. But why? So his administrative reforms are for his military expansions. That should be your conclusion. That's what I'm saying. Let me surprise you. What's the highest Indian king tax imposed in India? 50%. British broke the record of Alauddin Khilji. They imposed 56%. What do you call that? LOOT stands for loot. This is called, in the words of Dadabhai Naoroji, drain of wealth. Now tell me, what's the difference between British taxation and the medieval Indian king taxation? Quantum is high. But what made British to impose more tax on us? Wars. Sorry?
The bad intention of draining all the wealth of India.
I mean, we are the result of those crises. So I think a bad intention, good intention is something. Good, bad is, I mean, there is nothing called good and bad. Open to say that statement, by the way. Whether you like it or not, that really matters. Whether your system accepts it or not. If system accepts, good. For example, talaq. Some West Asian societies are accepting it. But Government of India, the Supreme Court of India said it, we cannot accept it. So, the system accepts or not, that really matters. So, good and bad, they are a very sane, insane discussion. We'll not get into that. Why do you think British imposed maximum tax beyond Alauddin Khilji? What might be the reason? To understand that, you need to understand the definition of colonialism. They want to make colonies so that mother should survive on the cost of colonies. And this section of people are known for that excruciating pain. By the time British left India, we had 11 provinces. How many states we have today? 28 states. By the time British left India, we had 11 provinces. How many? 11. I'll tell you, just remember them. Can you? Just give it a try. I'll tell you in the order in the clockwise direction. Assam, Bengal. Repeat along with me. Assam, Bengal. Bihar, Orissa. UP, CP. Let's repeat. Assam, Bengal. Bihar, Orissa. UP, CP. UP bole to? United Province. That became later Uttar Pradesh. CP, Central Province. That's what you call today Madhya Pradesh. Let's repeat. Madras, Bombay. Punjab, Sindh. Let's repeat all.
Assam, Bengal, Bihar, Orissa, UP, CP, Madras, Bombay, Punjab,
10 ho gaya. What is the 11th one? The transition that is between Pakhtunkhwa region, Baluchistan, Pakistan border, Afghanistan border, it was called NWFP, North West Frontier Province. So totally how many? Having said it, now let me give you the transformation of Indian political map. The transformation of Indian political map is so beautiful that by the time Akbar died in 1605, he conquered India into 15 Suba. Suba bole to state. So Akbar left his empire with 15 Subas. British left India with 11 provinces. Today we are 28. We don't call it province. We call it what? Why? Pakistan still call it province. We don't call province. We call it state. Legacy. Attachment. We should go away from that ideology. That was the major purpose of it. Transformation talks about it. Now, of the map I gave you in 1947, Jinnah is demanding Pakistan. So, among the 11 provinces, how many provinces he demanded as a Pakistan? This is a question. The answer is simple. In my list, top 2 and bottom 3. What were they? Top 2, Assam, Bengal. Bottom 3, Punjab, Sindh, and WFP. So, my friends, of the 11 provinces, literally Jinnah is demanding how many? 5 provinces. And he called it Pakistan. This is called transformation of state formation. Your job being a student of history to see why striking there. Why only 5 provinces were not Madras? In his opinion, Muslims in Madras are not Muslims at all. Clear? And a vadanlone tappundi. He's demanding something which is unnatural. That's why history blames him. Making sense, by the way? History is about heritage. It deals about identity. It talks about society. It talks about how events, places, people transform from time to time. And the beauty is that history is beyond data. It gives you good lessons, moral lessons. Aisa mat karo, aisa karo. It tells you good stories like order, like a teacher, how it gives you orders, give orders. You follow, it's good. Say, for example, the king of Macedonia was stuck in the Hindu Kush mountains. He really wanted to come to India, but by this time, on the other bank of Indus, you're going to call Jhelum. The Jhelum river was ruled by a Hindu king called Porus, Purushottam. He is strong enough to guard his boundaries. But the neighbor of Porus called Ambi, he had a quarrel with Porus. So what he did, he went all the way to Alexander and seeked his help. Can you please help me defeat Porus? Alexander replied, I wish I could, but I don't know how to come. Ambi said, Maihuna, I'll tell you how you can cross those Hindu Kush mountains, the secret route, trade route. And that's how history blames Ambi, the first traitor in history, Indian history. In traitor bole to, Deshadrohi, doke deta na, dokebaz. First traitor. Fast forward, medieval India. There's a king by the name called Prithviraj Chauhan. You know this man? He's very successful in defeating the Muslim invaders Muhammad Ghori. Defeat him in a very good battle of Tarain, 1191. And Ghori was highly disappointed returning back to his hometown, Gur, Afghanistan. At that time, I think there is a Rajput by the name called Jaichand. He came all the way and said, where are you going? I'll help you I'll teach you how Rajputs fight. Implement that strategy. A Rajput helped Ghori to defeat another Rajput. And that's how you call Jaichand the second Dokebaz. Traitor. Who's the third traitor? Robert Clive. He really wanted to capture the Bengal. British have a strong intention. Let me capture the Bengal. If you capture Bengal, you get massive trading rights, political rights, taxation rights. And that's how he's looking for a help. And he found another traitor by the name Mir Qasim. Mir Jafar, Mir Jafar. And that's how Mir Jafar is called a third traitor. Who's a fourth traitor? That seat is still empty. You want to take it? No. These are what you're going to call the orders. History is very cruel when pointing out these facts. What you proudly believe, this is what the real purpose of establishment of institution. They're very cruel these days. For example, a decade ago, 10 years ago, teaching history has been a little cakewalk. You just have a fact you talk about. But today, the current government is talking beyond that facts. They're talking about cultural synthesis. Your classroom should help in such a way that tomorrow it should be help me in the West Asia policy, Look East Asia policy. The current Modi government did a wonder, that today a flight takes from Delhi, lands in Saudi and then go to Israel. It never happened in the past. How it happened? People connect. Whether you like it or not, my friends, we talk in the classroom good things. We talk idealism. This is what Mahatma Gandhi, Satya Ahimsa. Hey, what Satya Ahimsa, sir? You like it or not, we talk the same. You know why? If we talk idealism in the classroom, you'll be adjusted to realism in the society. But there are some interesting faculties who really want to make the class more interesting and they talk realism in the classroom. Dhanam moolam idam jagat, money is everything. Now, it's dharma moolam idam jagat. Someone shifted the word dharma to dhanam. And today people are so crazy, money is everything, money is everything. If a faculty start talking this, giving orders in the classroom saying that dhanam moolam idam jagat, realism, then society will be radicalism. Are we clear about it? So don't forget the purpose why you are learning history, my friends. Your purpose is actually to construct or destroy. What's that? You're going to be administrator, my friend. Solve the problems, not create more problems. Making sense, by the way? That's how history gives you good lessons. Why social reformers in ancient India, Gautam Buddha, Vardhamana Mahavira, in medieval India, Bhakti Sufi scholars, In modern India, Raja Ram Mohan Reddy, Mahatma Gandhi, they all focus on one common element. Can you even guess it? They really want to empower society and they picked one element. Is that caste system? No. Caste was the last system to be touched. What is that simple, important element they focused on? Religion is, that doesn't exist as in the evolution of spirituality. Religion is just a baby, infant. The word India is just called from the Sindhu. You know that? Persians called it Sindhu. And they called it, Sindhu became Hindu, Hindavi, Hindustan. Religion added to later. Swami Vivekananda was the first person to call it's not Hinduism, it's called Sanatana Dharma. That's why it's called as a father of Indian Hindu Renaissance. UPSC question. He asked Hindus to think the other way, not the way how it was left. Orders are very important. And better you learn that order in the classroom so that you can establish a law and order in the society. Making sense? What makes the classroom special? Just not to impress, just to impress you, I cannot tell Battle of Kalinga was fought in Ashok Nagar. I can't do that. A fact is a fact. But what makes the classroom special is rationalism. Ism, whenever a word ends with the word ism, it means ideology. What's an ideology? What's an idea? What's an idea? I'm just checking how good you are in understanding so that I can go into details.
It suddenly pops up in my mind.
Oh, then what is thought?
What is all the same thing?
If they are same, then it should not have a same in the dictionary, right? Okay. Today, the young generation, I don't know, but I talk to people and they suffer with the D word a lot. You know, depression bolte hum. You know that? Are you familiar with that? She often comes and visit you whenever you are free. Depression, the baby depression. Why do people get depressed?
Because they are setting ideas.
No, Gautam Buddha would have been most depressed person if that's the case.
No,
Now.
if you are busy, you won't get any thoughts
No,
now.
no, I'm not
You should
objecting.
be interacting with people.
Wow.
If you have a schedule that I have to do so and so on particular time, so you won't even have time to think about silly things.
Nice. Your name, Begum?
No.
Aapka naam?
Asma.
Asma. Thank you. You know, there's a word called sensation. You know that? Sensation. You know what sensation? What is sensation? What is a sensation? Not a movie sensation. If I touch you, what do you feel? Sensation, stimuli. If I crack a joke, you will laugh. What's that? Sensation. These sensations will lead to emotions. Sensations will lead to emotions. In your opinion, men or women who has more sensations? Women. Yes or no? I don't want to get into anatomy to explain to that in detail, but you know it very well. Who has more sensations? Women. So who has more emotions? Women. More emotions, more thoughts. I repeat, more emotions, more thoughts. If you don't process your thought, it becomes OT, overthinking. If you process a thought, it becomes an idea. A processed thought is called an idea. If you sit, just calm. What do you get random in your mind? Thoughts. But you sit like a Gautam Buddha and understand why humans suffer, then you get Arya Satyas, 4 noble truths. They are ideas. How to make a thought to get into idea? You should process it. How you process it? How do you process it? How do you process it? Wow, understanding. Early man, he knew nothing about, he was just a food gatherer. He knew nothing about agriculture. Being a second phase of Mesolithic era, he started hunting. Because of consuming too much non-vegetarian food, your body cannot tolerate beyond certain heat. Yes or no? We are warm-blooded animals, by the way. So we cannot proceed beyond that. One day he might have picked a fruit and start chewing the fruit. He chewed everything what is chewable and spit out what is not chewable. And he spit out what? Seed. And the seed lying in front of his eyes for days. One day, showers. And he saw a sprout came out of it. That is called knowledge. Knowledge comes through observation. Key in observation will lead to knowledge. This knowledge is systemized, it's called education. That's when in your school days, in your day one, they taught you A for apple, B for bat, C for cat. Why such a big headache, sir? If your job is to get into civil services, let us seize them. A for aristocracy, B for bureaucracy, C for CSAT. Yes or no? Why are you taking such a long time to understand these words? Why can't we teach from day one? They're doing in the free Chaitanya Parana schools, by the way. I don't know what kind of crazy guys they are. Why do you need that? Systematic education has to be there. So my friend, sensation will lead to emotions. Emotions will lead to thoughts. Process of thought is called an idea. Idea will lead to innovation. Then you are called a scientist. How a country gets innovations? A summit asks those people to think first. In what form? In a more systematic manner. You get depression either you are in past or in future. I repeat this statement. ఏమైపోతుందో future. నాకెందుకైంది past. If you stay in present, you will not get depression, my friend. Stay in. I can tell you how to stay in present. Can I tell you? Can I tell you? Seriously? If you do that, your life will be miracles. UPSC exam is going to be just like that, my friend. UPSC exam, not at all a bother. You'll be satisfied. Satisfaction will lead to successful. Every emotion, except one, will take you either future or past. Being a student of past, I can talk about it. There's only one emotion that make you always stay in present. And you should be that because a bureaucrat you are going to be. And that is called smiling. If you smile, that means you understood something. And you responded in a positive manner. So only smiling can make you free from depression. Practice karo, bauntundi. Rationalism is about a processed thought of, what is this? Logic, reasoning. हम बोलते हैं ना, LAR, logic, analysis and reasoning. You see that checks you. History will give a standard logic for this event and ask the aspirants to analyze it. Then take a final call. Rationalism. Is man a rational or rational? Rational. You're preparing civil service because others are preparing, or you felt you need to prepare? You felt it, right? So you're a rational. That's why when we talk about Muhammad bin Tughlaq, history calls him Mad Sultan, Pagal. But there are some historians who called him a man beyond the times. Wow. He may be pagal to you, but this man, if you see from the lens of the future, this man is resembling more. For example, never ever there was a department called Agriculture Department in Islamic State. He's the first Indian king to understand, Muslim king to understand that we get more than 80% of revenue from agriculture. There's a necessity to dedicate a dedicated department and established Diwan-e-Kohi, Department of Agriculture. First Indian king to do so. And you will be surprised you, British even did not create a Department of Agriculture. The first agriculture minister only after India's independence, Dr. Babu Rajendra Prasad, before raised to post of President of India in 1947, free cabinet. Today you have Ministry of Agriculture, yes or no? No, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. This is called a transformation. So my friend, history deals about, what is this? It deals about it studies about lessons, orders. It studies about Something is missing. Loudly. Loudly. That's my question. Why history? Answer is on the board. History is such a beautiful subject. And let me make a statement. I've been learning history from more than a decade, teaching a decade actually. I won't take history serious. I expect you also not to take it serious. మా మతాన్ని అంటారా వీళ్ళు నీకెందుకురా? Why you're so serious about it? On the name of Chhatrapati Shivaji, you are literally corrupting his system. He is the person who established a Swarajya, self-rule. The first person to coin the term Swarajya, Chhatrapati Shivaji. Then Swami Dayananda Saraswati. Then Dadabhai Naoroji. Then comes here later on Mahatma Gandhi and recently Arvind Kejriwal. Arey bhai, in a Swarajya meaning, people ruled by us, not the outsiders. In that, he also allowed people, Muslims, to construct the masjids also. In that, on the day he got coronated, a Muslim was given a special invite. Please come and support us. Why you today take that as a political agenda and you start blaming the others? Very bad. My friend, learn history for sake of learning, knowing things. That will make your subject and your mental state calm. If not, you won't get sleep. Sometimes I won't get sleep actually, because learning too much data. Take a question. Statement, please. History is the continuous struggle. History is the continuous struggle between man and the nature. History is the continuous struggle between man and the nature. Dot. Discuss. Now, this is a main standard of understanding, interpreting a question. I'll give you, say, 10 seconds of time. What do you think important keywords? Just underline them. Keywords in that statement. Okay? 10 seconds, your time starts now. Important keywords. Oh, so quick. Nice. Done? How many of you underlined the first keyword, history? Raise your hands. Konchena? Purtigana? Reminding people why you missed that word history as a keyword. Can you see the difference in the classroom? That is called your competing. History is the first keyword and you forgot that keyword. So your answer has to be within the lens of history. Second keyword, please. Okay. Struggle or continuous struggle? How beautiful. History is a record of past. Is a basic mediocre word. Advanced word, what you know? History is a record of struggle. And that struggle is what? Continuous struggle. If there is a struggle, there is a record. The time the planet Earth takes Buddhism, that's a death of history. You understand what I'm saying, by the way? If there is no struggle, there is no history. Are we clear about it? H. Carr, a great historian, made a statement. It's a continuous struggle between what? Wow. If there's a struggle, there should be a victory. There should be a success. Yes or no? So if there is a struggle between man and the nature, now tell me who wins?
Nature always. As it.
Answer like a UPSC aspirant now. Not like a class 10, not like 11, 12, but you are aspirant. If there is a struggle between man and the nature, who wins? Who wins? Okay, let me decode it. A hungry tiger is chasing a innocent deer. A hungry tiger is chasing an innocent deer. Who wins? Who wins? Don't fall for my adjectives or metaphors, by the way, but you need to hold that tightly. If you think, if a tiger thinks, if it's not going to run with much more acceleration, entire its family and himself will die death to starvation. If that's the spirit inside the tiger, tiger wins. If the deer thinks that if I don't run with much more acceleration, I can't see my family, this is the last going to be a day on this earth. If that's the spirit of a deer, deer wins. So who wins? The one who is fit. And what do you call that theory? Survival of the fittest theory. So who wins? The one who is? That's a UPSC aspirant answer. Obviously, Kadu. No, you don't use that LY words careful. You have to be very careful. Only words, you know that in prelims? Only. Half death is gone there. Be careful, that's adverbs. Usually, casually, only, familiarly. Don't use that word casually. Chala pramadam adi. Now you tell me, if there is a struggle now between man and the nature, who wins? Nice, matured answer. Why sometimes only men?
Nature can be unpredictable.
Very cool, nice. You have a record of man's past. It's very tough to record a nature's past. Thanks, we have data science today. We are at least trying to create a seismographs, data. Nature throws earthquakes on you. But what man did? He has come with Sendai framework. Nature thrown COVID. We brought Covaxin, Covishield. So we are winning sometimes. But who is the final winner? I don't know. What's the answer? The last person on this earth who should say, I won or I lost. Till that time, history keeps on recording. This second, is it history or not? Record history or not? How many of you have a habit of writing a diary? Just raise your hands. I want to see those. Wow. You write diary? There's a great habit to Indians. Indians had no habit of writing history. That's why it's very hard to find Papa of history, Indian history. Papa of history, Herodotus. He recorded the Greek war. But who is Indian historian? Father of Indian history. Rare to find. But worth giving someone a name, his name, Kalhana, a Kashmiri poet who wrote a text called Raja Tarangini. You know why you call him father of Indian history? Because he is the only Indian historian without using those too much metaphors. Our historians are so brutally submissive, they write about a king so much high. Super duper ultra pro max. Why are you doing all this overaction? Speak the fact as it is. It didn't happen. You know why? Again, goes back to the Marxist ideology. Marxist historians say that Indians had no habit of writing history because if at all you want to write about something, you got to write about a king or about a god. Sidelining both, if you write about yourselves and the king is going to give you a reward, it's called death sentence. How dare you to put yourself above the two? So there was an inclined fear that made us not record the history. Damage happened a lot when Bakhtiyar Khilji destroyed Nalanda University. The greatest Buddhist records, chronicles were burned down to ashes. And by the time British come to India and captured Bengal in the Battle of Plassey, Battle of Buxar, 1757-64, I'm talking 18th century, they proudly said, the entire literature of Asia, Persia, Middle East and Asia is not more than average Englishman cupboard. That's it. So in their opinion, we are unpad, illiterate. That's why he didn't respect us. And the fun part is that he wrote history of our history by his hands, in his own lenses. Today you call some historians, like you see Arish Sharma, Irfan Habib, Satish Chandra. These all historians emerged in the post-independence, don't forget. After independence, we realized that what kind of damage was done by British to our history is the time we need to reconstruct our history. So all the references what you're learning today, especially NCERT references by the way, please read that in a careful sense. Say for example, when you read Ancient India R. S. Sharma, NCERT book is very censored book, you know it very well. Why? Because these books are throughout 28 states in India, 8 union territories by the way. So we need to appreciate their, respect their belief system. UPSC, the NCERT will not write Jesus Christ was a God. They won't write that statement. But rather they write a statement, Jesus Christ was believed to be a God by certain sections of Indians or certain sections of humanity. Believed to be. Safe side, diplomatic way of writing things. Your job is actually to refer a reference for the history. What books you think is good for you? You bought some books by the way or waiting for Vishnu IAS to deliver books to you? What books you think? By the way, what exam are you writing? Government exam or private exam? What books you need? Government books or private books? Dhamal, that's it. If you are planning for, are you planning for 27? Congratulations. If you're planning for 27, session 6 to 12. Start from classics, so beautiful books they are. Kids, they talk like a casually, Ramu, Somu. They cater portrayals will make you understand better. You should read both the old and new NCERTs. Old, I don't bother about the other subjects, but for my understanding of these books, old will give you knowledge about political history. Polity, type of government, who ruled whom, education reforms, economic reforms, revenue reforms. As an IAS officer, your job is to understand what kind of political history we had in ancient, medieval and modern. Old NCERT we don't have from 6 to 12, right? So refer 11th, 12th only. New NCERTs start from 6 to 12. New NCERT, you don't buy any book, my friend. Everything is PDF available. Kindly go through them. If you start reading class 11, class 12 directly, you go crazy. 11, 12 is actually more a spellization. The language, the metaphors are very tough to understand. In the medieval India, Satish Chandra's book, Alauddin Khilji, they talk about how this man used this military power, administrative reforms towards military power. In the first decade of his life, he was in a state of gay. They use a word called GAY, gay. A student from Kolkata called me, sir, was he gay? Are bro, in English, gay bole to merry, happy, having fun, forwarding administration. Of course he is gay. He was gay actually. Bisexual, I hope you know that. Alexander was also bisexual. Why to bother about that details? That's their personal life. Let's not get into them. Our job of being a student of history is not to go into bedroom, only to hall. Possibly sometimes kitchen. To see how bawarchi is happening out there. మరి బెడ్రూమ్లోకి వెళ్ళేసి వాళ్ళు ఏం చేస్తున్నారా అది నేను మాట్లాడి మీరు తెలుసుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం కూడా లేదు. ఎక్కడ అవసరం అప్పుడు మాట్లాడుకుందాం. మేకింగ్ సెన్స్ బై ది వే మనకు ఎంత ఉంటుందంటే ఇఫ్ యూ డైవ్ సంథింగ్ యూ గో ఇన్ డీటెయిల్స్. నోటీస్ వాట్ ఐ యామ్ సేయింగ్? ఆ ఆతృత వద్దయ్యా, వద్దు, చాలా డేంజర్ అది. క్లియర్? We dived into that. Thanks to the great teachers who taught us the education what we are delivering you now. తప్పులు ఏమైనా ఉంటాయి మావి అని మెచ్చుకోవాలంటే మా వాళ్ళవే. వాళ్ళు చెప్పిన సబ్జెక్ట్ ఎంత అద్భుతంగా ఉందంటే we dive into details, we forgot we were preparing for civil services. I will dive into details of IVC and I went to Gujarat personally, Rajasthan, those sites. నిజంగా ఉన్నాయా ఇవన్నీ కూడా అని. And we concluded IVC is made by aliens. యూపీఎస్ అడిగిందా నిన్న అవన్నీ? అడగలే. ఎందుకు చేసావు? ఓవర్ యాక్షన్. అందుకే బేటా Start drawing the line clearly. This is not a part of my learning curve. I don't want to know it. I don't need to know about it. Enough. Making sense by the way? Today you see some podcasts. I do give some podcasts, but those people who give interviews, na, inka cheppandi, masala, we want masala. What masala, bro? I can teach what is already in the history. Adi kaadu, inka doorandi. You understand what I'm saying, my friends? Uddaya. Your Instagram, Twitter should not be your source of truth. Your source of truths are NCERTs. Then you dive into other parts of the book literatures part. Clear about it? Yeah, we had a decent discussion. We are till 5:30, right? Any questions so far? I'll appreciate if you ask me questions. Any question with respect to learning curve, preparation strategies, or how you should approach history question, or randomly give me some UPSC mains question and I'll tell you how to decode that. You should do it from your end, please. You should take that initiation. Any questions? If you don't ask, I'm sorry, will suffer. చాలా బాధపడతారు తర్వాత. నీ మనసుకి ఏది అర్థమవుతుందో అర్థం కాదో నాకు తెలుస్తుంది ఇప్పుడు, బికాస్ ఐ అండర్స్టాండ్ ఫ్రమ్ యువర్ ఫేసెస్. వన్స్ యూ గెట్ ఆన్ RTC bus, whether you took a ticket or not, conductor will identify immediately. How? Instincts, experience. We need to understand the classroom, who are acting like listening, who are literally listening. మీరు చెప్పండి. You have any questions so far about approaching history? Any questions? Yeah. Please. Tell your name and then address me.
My name is Ashmita, sir.
Hi, Shmita. Yeah.
So the syllabus is between ancient, medieval, and modern, right? So our preparations approach should be based on what, like the weightage of the questions being asked, or what the syllabus states, or the previous questions that are being.
Nice question. UPSC did not categorize the syllabus. They only said general studies. They did not say Indian polity, Indian economy, nothing. GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4. It is for our convenience, based on the weightage of the marks, we are granting accordingly. I cannot dive into other parts, but I can talk about my history, how you need to approach. For easy way of preparing, I can give you some segments of 5 points. You can make it. UPSC history syllabus. UPSC CSE history syllabus. If you entirely decode the both prelims and mains, GS1 you talk about it, for the easy way of understanding subject and to have a proper class note making, these segments will help you. 5 segments I created for my convenience to teach and to learn, by the way. Among the number 1, Indian culture and heritage. Indian culture and heritage. What does that mean? A deeper topic that covers both the prelims and mains. Easy way to understand. Art, architecture, aesthetics. That means religion. Art, architecture, religion. A very important topic, huge weightage, my friend. Whether you refer the NOS or Nitin Singhani, it's up to you. But Indian culture and heritage is a must. And such a way, UPSC will ask a question based on culture aspects only. Lucky for you, they won't ask question on wars, battles, etc. Nothing. That's not the exam you are preparing for. People are scared, sir, should I remember all the battles and the treaties? No. But how a battle led to something, a legacy, that's what you'll learn that in the upcoming. But first segment is very highest weightage to be understood is Indian culture and heritage, deals about art, architecture, and some aesthetics called religion. Here you see religion part. Buddhism, Jainism, Charvaka in ancient India, Bhakti, Sufi in medieval India, social religious reform movements like Arya Samaj, Brahma Samaj, Theosophical Society till Ramakrishna movement, they're all in the modern India. Are we clear about it? Number 2, ancient and medieval Political history. Ancient and medieval political history. I'm very clear with my wordings. I'm not asking you to learn about the battles. I said political history. What is polity? Type of government. Type of government. Government was the legislature, executive, judiciary. Yes or no? What kind of laws they made? What kind of revenue policy they had? So, my friend, here you need to focus only one word, that is called A, administration. Administration. Military administration, kaise hai bhai? Revenue administration, judicial administration, if at all, in the modern British time, police administration, combination of it. So the second topic deals about only one word. What is that? Administration. This talks about art, architecture and aesthetics. Second talks about? That's why they ask about what is Mansabdari system, what is Zubedari system, what is the taxation policy between difference between Akbar and his successors. These are all administrative questions, and that is the whole sole purpose for you to prepare. And not for you, by the way. In the governance topic, you learn the same in detail. There are three interesting empires you need to learn about administration. Mark the words. Number one, in ancient India, Mauryan administration, you need to understand. To understand Mauryan administration, you should at least have a basic understanding of Kautilya's Arthashastra. That's a constitution of Mauryans. Having completed that, then you come to Middle India, then you start reading Mughal administration. Why Mughal administration? Because by the time British come to India, Mughal administration is in practice. They made a changes accordingly, not suddenly drastic changes on the same changes. That's why you need to refer a constitution of Mughals, Aini Akbar or Akbarnama, to understand, oh, this is a 15 subhas, they divided entire kingdom into 15 subhas. Subhas were divided into sarkas, paraganas and then villages. This is called what? Mughal administration. Then comes third one, British administration. And that entire topic is discussed in third point called modern India. Your modern India strikes British capturing Bengal. And that concludes, that means from Plassey to partition. 1757-1947. This is a modern India. Highest weightage is given modern India. Second highest is given to culture, and the least, very less importance is given to ancient and medieval. But what students they do? They start learning early man. Long ago, early man lived in caves, trunks, bushes, the three phases, Paleolithic, Mesolithic. Why are you doing this time waste jobs? That's not a part of it. Got the point? Number 4, post-independence. What do you mean by post-independence? Okay, it starts from 1947, clear cut. What is the end date? Can I say till today? Can I say till today? There's a big debate actually. When they introduced the topic in 2013, our minds are going crazy. For history of students, he can easily guess it. But non-history students, they are unable to, how can I draw the line? They asked a question about Tashkent Agreement. Tashkent Agreement, you know that? Indo-Pak War 1965, Lal Bahadur Shastri went to Tashkent and he passed away. Remember that? Tashkent Agreement. Then they talked about Operation Barga, land reforms. That means, my friend, post-independence is going to be a maximum, you can talk till 1991, economic reforms. That's it. You cannot call beyond the 90s post-independence. You know why? The time you start talking beyond 90s, a century changes. You enter into which century? From 20th century to 21st century, century difference will not be a part of post-independence. So, strike a mark right away saying that till 1991 economic reforms, you got to understand as a post-independence. Anything after that is actually called as, obviously from 1947, modern India after 1997, you be called as Indian polity. So, this is a combination of polity, economy, geography, geopolitics, everything. How many segments totally so far? First one? Number 2? Number 3? 4? And the fifth one, modern world history. Same like Indian history, we have ancient world history, medieval world history, modern world history. Lucky for you, they're not asking you to learn about great Greeks, great Romans, even bachelors and masters, they will forget about them. They only ask you, can you please tell me when the modern world history started? Please remember the statement. It starts with industrialization, industrial revolution. So industrial revolution is the first beginning topic of what? Modern world history. And that continues till 1945, end of World War II, the formation of UNO, United Nations Organization. So technically speaking, from 1770s-1945. So 18th century till mid 20th century. A very small topic, modern world history. We can complete that in a week of time. Very easy topic. So these are the 5 segments basing on weightage, basing on your focus. How can you prepare? Interestingly, the top 3 topics are prelims cum mains. They are both in the prelims and mains. The last 2 are only restricted to exclusively for mains. Now you tell me how you will start it. What's the easy way to start history? Which segment you will start first? You will start learning what is Bharatanatyam dance, how it's become a Devadasi form, what is a Nritya, Natya, what a dancer form. You go, am I becoming a dancer? My friends, don't start with culture, you go crazy. It's an ocean. It's an ocean. My expertise is culture actually. If you go in that detail, my God, no coming back. వెళ్ళిపోతూనే ఉంటాయి కుటుంబం ఆగవు ఎక్కడ ఇంత పెద్దదా that's the beauty about Indian culture and heritage, my friend. So beautiful culture it is. So don't start with culture. Culture should be your last touch. If you read Buddha in the day 1 class, he is just a king who became saint for you. But if you read after the completion of entire history and then you read Buddha, then you call Buddhism is a science, Buddha is a scientist. That is Buddha. He's called Light of Asia. So when you start the topic is also important. Are we clear? Making sense by the way? What you will think you better to start? First independence directly, India got independence. Okay, after that. But there is a topic in post independence, my dear, called nation building process and its challenges. By the time we got independence in 1947, 85% of India is illiterate. Crises are there. So we actually should look from why we got partition. Actually, we asked only freedom. British was so cruel, they gave 1 + 1 offer. Laddu kavala naina. They gave 2 laddus. One is called freedom, one is called partition. We asked only freedom, they gave us. So again, you need to start going into why Jinnah demanded Pakistan. So directly starting post independence is like a dark room finding where is a black cat. It's very tough unless it makes meow. So I don't suggest you to start post independence. What else? Ancient and what actually happens if you start an ancient and medieval? You start strongly taking those glasses and you see everything from those glasses. Wow, the great India, the great Chandragupta Maurya. Acha, he killed his own papa. Ajatashatru, he killed his own papa. You will stuck there. It's very hard for you. Anumondi cheptunnanu. From experience I'm telling you. Now, it's not good. Start your preparation with modern India. You know why? I'll tell you the bonanza offers for it. If you start from modern India starts with a topic called Advent of Europeans. These are the Europeans called Portuguese, Dutch, Danish, English, French, who came all the way because Industrial Revolution. When they come to India, they're supposed to bring industries, but they did not bring industries. Had they brought industries, India would have been a manufacturing hub. They wantedly loot the resources and take the wealth. This is called drain of wealth. You understand the subject here. Making sense? The time you understand what is modern India, then you see, acha, by the time we got independence, these are certain crises, constructions, and some conspiracies. Then you have some clarity of thought. Now you are wearing modern glasses, modern Ray-Ban. With these glasses, now you see India's past. Then you say, wow, such a brutal sati existed in the past. Thank God today we have Devdasi Prohibition Act, Sati Prohibition Acts. You will appreciate today's constitution if you read modern India. But what other aspirants will do, they read ancient India and wear those glasses and see today from those lenses. If you see today from the past lens, then you say, ఆడవాళ్ళు మరీ జీన్స్ ప్యాంట్లు ఎక్కువ వేసుకుంటున్నారా. Women should not wear jeans, yaar. They should wear only sari. That is an Indian culture and heritage. నీకెందుకురా? The dressing style, it depends upon the operation of mode of operations what you do. In Madras High Court, there was a case, you know that? A young lady who actually was called a witness, the judge was worried to see she was in jeans. And she said, how dare you to come to court with the jeans? And she politely replied, sir, I'm a working woman. My day starts by catching a running bus. I cannot do that with the sari, I need a jeans. This is called a modern thought. Are we clear about it, what I'm saying, by the way? This modern thought you'll appreciate if you start your preparation from modern India. And the beauty is that modern India is what? A struggle for Swaraj. Struggle for Swaraj. If there is a struggle, there should be verses, right? Indians are demanding Swarajism. British are saying, no, we are good for you. Accept us, colonialism. A struggle between Swarajism and colonialism is called a freedom struggle. Or I want to make another statement, India getting more Europeanized is called modern India. So if you read modern India, French Revolution inspired Indian freedom struggle. Russian Revolution inspired Indian freedom struggle. You know what I'm saying? These will be covered parallelly. So 1 plus 1 offer, jackpot. 3 will be covered, 5 will be covered at the same time. Then you'll appreciate why Nehru wrote Discovery of India and he dedicated 2 pages for French philosophers, Voltaire. Why a French philosopher is coming in Indian history? You know what I'm saying, by the way? So this is a good way strategy. Start your preparation with modern India always. If you believe in yourselves, I'll follow the teaching schedule of Vishnu IAS, up to them. But even after that, after 1 year, again you have to do the same. Always a very intellectual decision, a good decision, appreciate decision if you start with modern India. Once you understand modern India, you understand modern world history. By the time India got independence, World War II happened. So India got independence not because of Gandhi. It's because of... If you go to rural India, you ask a question, they'll say, who gave us independence? Mahatma Gandhi. Aya, Gandhi did not give us independence. British gave us independence. You understand that because there are crisis challenges happen in world history because of World War II, having no other way, they have to end the colonies. They have to collect as many apples as possible in the basket and then leave. And that crisis in the 1940s in the history, it is called as a turns and twists in 1940s. There you will appreciate the role of Subhash Chandra Bose. Are we clear about it? And in this way, 2 segments are done. 1, 2 is done. Once it is done, your post is going to be equally easy for you because parallelly polity class completes. Then you will have an ample clarity of what is modern India, what is modern world history, what is post-independence. Segment is done. Then now dive into ancient and medieval. Then you will know what to focus, what not to focus. Unlike my Kolkata student, you will not ask a question, was Alauddin Khilji gay? అలాంటి క్వశ్చన్ నీకు రావు. ఎందుకు? Why? Because you got that maturity of reading the NCERTs. This is a successful strategy. It helped many of my aspirants to get success. They got ranks also. So, నమ్మొచ్చు మీరు ఈ strategy. Clear about it? Nice. Good question, by the way. Thank you. Anything else? Yeah. Another question? Please.
Apart from the book list that you mentioned, sir, the other resources like the Tamil Nadu board textbooks, they say, how are they relevant and how much will be helpful for us? Should it be at least referred or not?
Relevancy is a matter of it's a discussion of debate of time actually. To be accepted, NCRTs did not cover a huge amount of data about South India. It's a fact. They only talk about Ganges Plains, Ganga. That's it. Indus Plains, Gangetic Plains. Or even Northeast India was ignored, bro. Ahom dynasty, the one actually established in 13th century, till India's independence, it continued here. But it was ignored so much. So NCERT did not do justice in its books. That's a fact. Then what actually comes, people who is from Tamil Nadu, he is a very pride about his Sangam literature. A student who is preparing from NCERT, what he knows about Tamil, he knows that Tamil is actually first classical language in India because of clear categorization of Tamil into written and spoken, Kodun Tamil, Sen Tamil. And Aryans had a Ramayana Mahabharata, so Dravidian people inspired from Aryans, and there are 5 literature. 5 epics, they are called Silapadikaram, Manimekalai, Sivachintamani, Manimekalai. This, that's it. Details of them, NCERT will not cover. So, then what actually happened? There are some kind of a questions they asked. For example, you know about Tiru, great, Kural, sayings. Ethics paper, you have ethics paper, right? Such kind of ethics knowledge in the Tamil literature is called Tirukkural. MGR, the former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, who demanded Indira Gandhi at that time to make Tirukkural as a national book of India, and she rejected, and that led to insult, and further he came his own political affiliations with your NT Ramarao, etc. stories. So one thing is very clear, that justice was not delivered in NCERTs. It's a fact. My question is that whether justice delivered it or not, you should realize it. It's not someone should say it. Making sense, by the way? How much Satavahanas were covered in NCERT? Any idea? Not more than 1 chapter. Even half chapter actually, half chapter. But you read in the Telugu states, they'll cover books on Satavahana. Your 23rd Satavahan ruler, Balakrishna, no, Gautamaputra Satakarni, was considered to be such a great historic hero. In NCERT, he is just one of the South famous kings who broke the tradition of North king coming to South, but he came from South to North. Now that's very interesting. Pulakesni was one such kind of example of Karnataka. So, it used to be an old saying or old standard saying that it's better you cover the Tamil Nadu textbooks. I think we don't need that relevance today a lot, because most of the NCERTs today, I mean the new NCERTs, the updated NCERTs, new NCERTs, they're not bothering about that political part, they're only talking about the cultural part. You'll have that clarity when you go to the new NCERTs. First cover the NCERTs, my friends. That's a lifetime achievement for you. Trust me, lifetime achievement. If you read NCERTs and every chapter there is a sub questions, that, and some multiple matching, you do that, you'll have enough clarity. Even you take history optional. I don't encourage you to take it, by the way. never in my dream also. If you take it, even we say to aspirants, read NCERTs first and then come to other classes. Are we clear? NCERTs are smart in censor. For example, R.S. Sharma has his own private book of early ancient India. But that book was very, very brutal. Like he's a Marxist school, na? These all D.D. Kaushambi, R.S. Sharma, Romila Thapar, Marxist people they are. They call it spade a spade. I mean, I can make a statement to make you feel how the private books of R.S. Sharma and the censored books of R.S. Sharma are different. You hope you can touch it. Not to hurt your sentiments, but this is a fact I want to mention. If you read NCERT, R.S. Sharma, the chapter 1, the origins of history, you talk about in ancient India, joyful setting, he concludes the statement saying that in his private book, ancient Indians had a habit of eating beef. Ancient Indians had a habit of eating beef. Now you see that statement only in the private but not in the NCERT. It's censored. Why? Narrative. So, some aspirants, what they do, they directly read Romila Thapar. She's what I can call, she's No, she's a ultra feminist, She is. You cannot appreciate her thoughts unless you complete the basic nationalist books. Clear about it? So, Upinder Singh, authors are many for you, but don't dive into those details. If you cover more than what I speak on the board, welcome to stay optional. If you start covering more than what I speak, don't do that. Limit your resources, master them multiple times. The success mantra in history is simple, my friend. Chase 80% of knowledge with 100% accuracy. You'll be the topper. My former student, Shruti Sharma, she was from history optional only, but she was my student. She was not good in facts, but she got the rank. How? She understood the narratives. Which narrative, what story has to be addressed. She got the rank. You got what I'm saying, by the way? So stop chasing those factual data. There are no end for the facts, my friend. That's so. I think your academy is giving Tamil Nadu textbooks also for reference, if I'm not wrong. Are they delivering it? So, chadu, bond. You have time. But don't compromise on your strong preparation. Okay, your solid preparation has to start from class 6 till class 12. Cool. Any questions? Pucho. Only girls are asking. That's why they are getting ranks. Men, come on. Pucho ra. Arganda babu. In the when Plato, you know Plato? Plato?
Famous political.
Wow, nice. Thank you. Socrates called father of Western philosophy. His student Plato, who wrote the book Republic, beginning of political thoughts in our Greek culture. His student Aristotle, father of political science. His student Alexander is a chronology. Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, Alexander is an order, by the way. In fact, people hardly knew about Socrates. It's a Plato's Republic, throw light on Socrates, saying that this is a man who enlightened me. Plato times are very, very special. If any student asks a question to his master, a teacher used to reward him with a wonderful gift. Any guess what was that? Death sentence. How dare you to ask question for the authority? That was a Platonic times. Today we are asking, please ask questions. Please. I have a habit actually. Once I start the class, I'll end before 15 minutes only. And 15 minutes complete silence only for questions. The more questions you ask, my friend, trust me, higher rate of success for you. There's no alternate for it. In Delhi, you don't get that chance. Trust me, that's the word. In Delhi, you won't get the chance. Among the 200, 300 students, you hardly see me. You should see in the screen out there. You won't get this kind of a interaction. Trust me. Bolo. Any questions? How's Anubhav sir? Handsome? Bonada? How is doing, by the way? Health is good? Sir, health is good? Sir has a shoulder pain, by the way. So, cool, yeah. We used to call him Mahesh Babu of, we both are colleagues in the previous organization, so we used to call him Mahesh Babu. So, he's lots and lots of Telugu movies a lot, Tamil movies a lot, more than Hindi movies. He might have shared some movies also? No? Okay. A to start then. Nice. Sir, any question? What's your name, sir? Ravindra. What service you prefer? What is your preference service? IAS, IPS, foreign service? IPS. Why, sir? I'll give a book name. Can you take the book name? The Struggle for Police Reforms. One of the finest book ever produced in post-independence by a DGP. Former DGP, by the way. This book was such an important book, asked in many exams also. If you really have a passion towards doing some reforms in IAS and IPS, today why the police service has become used, misused and abused by political authorities, you should learn that from that book. Wonderful book, yeah. The Struggle for Police Reforms. It was launched by former Vice President of India, Telugu person, I forgot his name, Venkaiah Naidu, Shri Venkaiah Naidu ji. He launched it, that book. Very interesting book. Okay, read that book if you get a time, sir. And those inputs will help you a lot in your governance and also in your ethics paper. You frequently depict about police reforms cases of him only, frequently. Okay, the struggle for police reforms. Nice. So can we pause it, by the way? 10 minutes ahead, we have still 10 minutes.
Why can't we score more in GS schools? Even toppers can't score more in GS schools.
అది ఇలాంటి క్వశ్చన్ అడగరా నన్ను. Come on, I love these questions. What's the total score? You know that for you? What's the total score? 1750. Interview score? 270. That makes up 20? 26, huh? Okay. 2025. Chalo, chill. Guys, don't bother about it. The time you clear the interview, clear the mains and you go to interview, whether you deliver excellence or not, you get minimum marks. 100 is a dete. Let me tell you this statement, as like a friend asked me, whether you're in or out, decide by mains. Yes or no? Anyone who actually scoring, entering into prelims, entering into mains and then interview and getting a rank, there's a term called a cadre, there's a term called service. తెలుసా ఈ పదాలు? తెలుసు అంటే మాట్లాడు, తెలియదు అంటే చెప్తా. Smart way. Whenever you meet a bureaucrat, the first question you got to ask him, sir, what is your service, what is your cadre? Cadre. అయ్యా టైమా ఒక నిమిషం. ఏమని? Oh, okay, I'll do that. Thank you. Online guys are asking me some questions. Just wait for a few more minutes, bro. I'm completing the topic. I'm talking now. Cadre meaning where you are. Service, what you are, what you will do. What you will do is called a service. IAS. Yes? What service IAS will do? What you will do is called a service. Sitting somewhere you will do. It's called a cadre. Home cadre, non-home cadre. Got the points? Chalo, cool. Whether you are getting home cadre or not, decide by the interview. Whether you get IAS or IPS or foreign service, decide by main score. Many aspirants who say that I've been to interview but I did not get the score, it's because they got a poor main score. Interview score doesn't make a big difference. They'll decide you get a home cadre or non-home cadre. But what will decide your service? Main score. Yeah. Main score. How many GS totally, bro? How many GS papers? 4. Each paper carries 240, right? If you get 400, that means each paper 100. That's a big score actually. If you just score out of 1000, 400, you are smart student. 4 papers, just how many marks? 400. GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4, 400. Optional. 500. What's a decent score? Amma, 300. Are you planning? 200 if you get it, far better. 100, far better. So 200. Essay है ना? Essay. Language is not scoring, my bro. Essay, you got to score at least 125 is somewhat a smart students will score. Let's make it 100. How much better? How much? You will be qualified for interview. This is a fact. If you score 700, you will be called, you will get an interview call. That's it. Of total, how much better? 1750. Yeah, that's the point we talk about it. Now, this 700 what I talk about, distributive. It's highly distributive. Cutoff days based on the many factors for that. the diversity applying for the exam, number one. Number two, the quantum of government certain special provisions, reservations for them. Or number three, the toughness of the paper. There are lots and lots of criteria involved in that. Let's talk about it. So your target, basic target is how should I score 700? This should be your target first. If you score 1000, bro, you know, Andip Durshetty, my batchmate by the way. So what is score? Yes or no? 1000 నువ్వు దండం పెడతా వచ్చేసేది అంతే. 700 is the minimum score we expect from you. 100, 100, 100. Let's come to that question of our friend. GS1 scoring is tough. For 250, what I expect you to score, sir? For GS1, how much? I'm expecting minimum 100 you need to score. Minimum 100. So when I say minimum 100, the GS1 includes what? History and history, that everything, and geography, and then Indian society. First work on the syllabus quickly, please. సిగ్గనిపిస్తుంది, అర్థమైందా? From tomorrow onwards, always carry the exam syllabus paper. Look at the toppers in Delhi. They always carry atlas with them, syllabus copy with them. They have no other job. Whenever they get free time, syllabus, they'll buy hard syllabus. Such a way, on one spot, if they asked to write essay on different topic, they take the syllabus and match it and then make a essay. Wonderfully, it will help you, my friend, start working on the syllabus. So, my expectation is actually you should minimum score 100. Minimum 100. And the push you can give is 150. That's it. What are the blockers for you not to score 150? That's my first question. If you score less than 100, I repeat this statement, if you score less than 100, I can easily say you did not cover NCERTs. First fact. If you score 100 but not touching more than 125, that means your linking of current affairs with the general studies is very poor. And if you are able to strike close to 150, you had a strong notes that includes a combination of both the current affairs and general studies. That's simple, sir. Clear about it? There's nothing called it's impossible. It can be done. It can be done. But through proper, maybe if I take the NCERT foundation, I'll give you that oral strategy, how you can be better. Okay? So it's not impossible, achievable. But to score 100, you need to complete first NCERTs. Because NCERT, tables, images, you look at those mapping, by the way, they are essential to decode that question. So NCERTs are must to score 100. And if you want to score more than 100, what is important is current affairs, you're linking, how you can recent policy, recent scheme, recent legislative measure. You have to mention that. Simple. Hope it's answered. Thank you. I think there is some online students, by the way. People are depressed because of Panchendriya, Chaplatva. Okay, is it for because of depression, he asked? Tell about chronological order, sir. I will talk the chronological order in the upcoming, but the segment is going to be enough. The chronological order is not going to help you in this exam. There is another myth I repeat want to change. Sir, will I cover the entire history syllabus if I start learning from prehistoric era, Indus Valley Civilization, 3000 BC till 1750, then comes Aryans, it's from 1500 till 1000, and from 1000 to 600, later Vedic. That trend completed over. Questions are not framed in that way at all. If you still believe that I have to prepare from chronological order, ancient India, Middle India, modern India, post-independence, this is not that exam, my friend. And trust me, it's impossible to complete that in 1 year. I take class for PG students and PhD students also. What I'm teaching you, the entire syllabus of UPSC, I have to teach, on average you talk about, I'll be taking closely 150 hours, not more than touching 200 hours, by the way. I'll teach only ancient India for entire 1 year for the bachelors. So don't have that academic understanding in this competitive wing. That's one of the frequent mistakes aspirants do. Chronological order is only for your understanding, it's not for your preparation. Who came after whom is a record of past. But your questions are not asked on that pattern. Questions are asked, by the way, okay, questions were asked, Why Battle of Kalinga was fought will not be a question for you. But they'll be asking a question. The Battle of Kalinga brought a transformation both in the Mauryan Empire and Ashoka's character. Discuss. That should be a question, because consequence they're going to ask a question. Causes, they don't ask the question. Course, they won't ask the question. Third C, what is it? Consequences, they'll ask a question. They won't ask you when India got independence, but they'll ask a question. The turns and twists in 1940s pushed British to leave colonies immediately. In that rush, we got independence. Discuss. So, hope you see, chronology is only for the beginners. Your exam demands beyond chronology, my friend. That doesn't mean that you should not ignore chronology. No, you should not. You should understand there comes first Mauryans, then comes post-Mauryan, then comes Guptas, then comes Harshavardhan, then comes Rajputs, then comes Muslims. This is chronology. But you cannot by heart that dates, that's what I'm saying it. Okay? What's the content difference between old NCERTs and Tamil Nadu NCERTs? Tamil Nadu NCERTs are mostly restricting to South, especially Tamil culture and heritage. If you read it, you'll understand that. Number two, Tamil NCERTs are basic language, like your school textbooks. You know, school textbooks, how they are. They don't use this kind of a gay words. NCERT language is somewhat a national standards now. Have anyone gone through ICSE syllabus, international syllabus? They talk about a global culture, global language, you talk about it. So, the choosing of words differs from Tamil Nadu textbooks and NCERTs. Sir, what are the books to read history for prelims and mains both? There are no such kind of a books called both prelims and mains. There's only a book what you going to call GS1. Start from NCERTs. Once you read NCERT, you see the behind every chapter there are some questions. Try decoding it. If you don't know how to write an answer, I'll tell you in the upcoming class. Strategy of writing a good answer. How can you make a comprehensive answer? A good strategy. It's an art form. It's an art. It's not a magic. It comes with a practice and strategy. It will work. So I think that's all the questions. Sir, don't go that fast, sir. Take a pause. Things are getting mixed. Acha. Am I going fast? Am I going fast? It's a basic ra. I'm so sorry. You have right to halt me by the way if I'm going fast. You're able to understand my language, my diction, my rate of speech. అక్క అర్థమవుతుందండి? అర్థం అవ్వాలి. ఇక్కడ ఏదో the only purpose is that we deliver. I was taking a class in the morning, few weeks back morning. Once the class completes in the middle, they say, sir, you're speaking like a foreigner. ఇప్పుడు చెప్తారేంట్రా సమయం అయిపోయాక నేను ఫారినర్ ఎలా మాట్లాడతాను రా, ఇండియన్లోనే మాట్లాడాలి కదా, నా స్కిన్ చూడు ఇక్కడ ఉండే నేను. Some people get scared. That is the first step towards understanding UPSC, sir. It will terrify you, scare you with these abundant thoughts. It's cool. It's not impossible. And lastly, I want to congratulate you, by the way. Whether it's good luck or hard luck doesn't matter. Preparing for civil service is the best decision you have taken in your lifetime, sir. Trust me. If at all today I'm proud of myself of something, preparing for civils. I'm a twice interview candidate. Great moment of joy and happiness. So that is immense. దానికి కొంచెం స్మార్ట్నెస్ పెడితే ర్యాంక్ వస్తుంది. Clear? So we'll pause the class now. Shall yeah. I don't know how you take that statement if it's a note making. There are many institutes who say note making, but trust me, note making doesn't exist, sir. Doesn't exist. Long ago, say about 10 years back, we have no references. Books are not there. For example, if you want to know about Mughal administration, you have to go to library. I know Akbari source, I have to get it. That books are not available. So we go to library and finally find a book. And the joy, happiness we get by seeing that book in the library is amazing. And by the time we open the book and look for the reference topic, that page is missing. Someone taskarincharu. You understand what I'm saying by the dongatanam gaadu? Taskarincharu. That day it was a dearth of knowledge. Today you have ChatGPT, abundant data. Note making was an old school style. But today class notes is the only note making. You look, if you get a chance, I wish you, by the way, you have to go to mains hall. You go to mains hall, trust me, no one will bring Lakshmi Kant. No one will bring Satish Chandra or Nitin Singhania books. They bring their class notes alone. Because that's what they wrote and that's what they remember the language. So I'm sorry to disappoint you. I don't personally appreciate note making. It's a time-seeking process. It will take you 1 year to make what is what. In that process, 1 year is already done, sir. And that was a strategy for the old school because we had a dearth of knowledge. Today we had abundant knowledge, so there's no necessity. Whatever you read in current affairs, I'll tell you strategy also, how to make a notes, class notes. It will help you later. Okay, a good question by the way. You can agree or disagree with me. There's nothing like చెప్పాడు కదా ఒకసారి ట్రై చేయండి మీకు తెలుస్తుంది అది ఎంతవరకు సక్సెస్ అవుతుందో లేదో దెన్ యూ కెన్ టేక్ ఏ కాల్ అకార్డింగ్లీ పోదామా క్లియర్ థ్యాంక్ యూ వన్స్ అగైన్ I think I'm not allowed to share my contact details by the way, but I can give you my email ID. Can I? You can take my email ID if you have any answers or any queries. Drop an email. Even if you want my contact number, drop an email. అంతే ఆల్టర్నేట్ లేదు అట్లీస్ట్ ఒక అటెంప్ట్ చేయాలి కదా మీరు యూ కెన్ షేర్ యువర్ ఆన్సర్స్ ఆర్ ఎనీ క్వైరీస్ ఐల్ బి హ్యాపీ టు రిప్లై టు దెమ్ ఓకే బట్ మెన్షన్ ద ప్లేస్ వెర్ యూ ఆర్ ఫ్రమ్ ఎక్కడి నుంచి వస్తుంది ఎక్కడి నుంచో ఈమెయిల్ చెప్తే నాకు తెలుస్తుంది అది ఓకే సో పాసిబుల్లీ వన్స్ డన్ పాలిటీ ఈస్ డన్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు మీట్ అగైన్ రమ్మంటారు వద్దంటారు క్లాస్ నచ్చిందా సో ఇఫ్ యూ లైక్ మై క్లాస్ క్లిక్ ద లైక్ బటన్ సబ్స్క్రైబ్ గంట కొట్టండి థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ జై హింద్